is crying, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone singing, kumbaya. Someone singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone is singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone's praying, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone's praying, kumbaya. Someone is praying, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, Lord, kumbaya. Someone's crying, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone's crying, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone is crying, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone's singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone is singing, my Lord, kumbaya, kumbaya. Someone is singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone's praying, kumbaya. Someone is praying, Lord, kumbaya. Someone is praying, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, oh Lord. Come in, Jesus, kumbaya.
Yes, kumbaya, my family, kumbaya. Good evening, good night. If that be the case, I'm trusting that you've had a fantastic, if not an interesting week. Hope that you're not under your slumber. Neither are you sleeping, but very much awake as to all that's happening round and about us. It's been a very interesting week as per usual, in that we are still in rehab, not being allowed to do our will, but more so having to listen to the will of the government and the restrictions to which they continue to impose on us. I'm not sure as to how you yourselves are managing under these circumstances is very concerning because its impact on our mental state of mind is also impacting on our responsibilities insofar as putting food on the table, being able to maintain and pay our mortgage, live up to those responsibilities. So, all in all, family, it would appear that we're under all kinds of pressure which have been imposed upon us through this pandemic, which ultimately is having to shoulder the blame by the name of coronavirus. Yeah, now this is your enough is enough program, and of course we're saying that we are at the end of our tether. We're quite fed up, and we have to take a stand because it would appear that our civil liberties have been eroded, all because of an invisible virus that nobody really has produced the evidence to say, because we're living in a period of time when the common flu is meant to be upon us. And I myself, I saw the fog the other day, and guess what? I thought it was coronavirus. I hadn't seen fog for a long time, but it made me think, do I really want to breathe in? Yeah, considering, But yeah, we're going through some really strange times, family. I don't know as to how you yourselves have been coping, but for myself, I had very much of a quiet week. Well, being honest, I was quite busy. I was down by my daughter, helping her to convert what is her space into a working space. Because a lot of us now have to work from home. Yeah, so I was pleased because I get to spend more time with my granddaughter. She's not yet 2, but I'm very happy because we are now bonding. And now I can be 2 with her, you know. So they say once a man, twice a child. So it's given me that opportunity to be childlike again, and I welcome. Obviously, it means I'm doing some exercises that I've not done in a while. You know, those things are exciting. Throwing her up and catching and all those swinging about. But all in all, nonetheless, it's a joy. But on a serious note, majority of the week was spent just helping out by my daughter up until Saturday. But obviously, in between, there is concerns, friends who again have lost loved ones. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing a friend of mine who is of that Windrush generation chef. He had lost his son, so my respect goes out to you, my brother. More strength. Hard to understand, hard to take in without a doubt, because it's this situation that we just say, well, I'd rather it be me, but nonetheless, God knows what He's doing, you know what I'm saying? So my strength, my condolence, and God's richest blessings upon you in this time, and also to wifey. You know what I'm saying? I know that, boy, I don't even know, but more strength, and whatever help or in a way of support that can be had, then obviously through your cousin Joe, who had given me notice of that factor, then do let me know. Yeah, aside from that preparation, no doubt, again, is being made insofar as our brethren up there in Edmonton, Nigel, whose ascension program is going to be on the 1st. Yeah, so on that note, I would say, the restrictions. Again, we're limited, but those of you who can, bring your drums. And if you can't bring your drum, then stay your yard and play your drums and chant down Babylon same way. Yeah, so that's what I will encourage of you. Yeah. Aside from that, yeah, it's been relatively quiet insofar as what I've been doing, but as been said, my time has been taken up. But I did manage on Saturday. I attended a protest, and It started at King's Cross, you know, and it ended up at Hyde Park, you know. But yeah, before we go into those kind of things, let me at least settle myself because we've got a very special guest in the studio this week. And let me just present the situation. This program is going to be so mystical that it's not being videoed. It's audio, but it's not being videoed. This is because of the request of my sister, who's going to be joining me shortly. And for those of you who are in tuned and aware, who place their eyes up onto the hills as well as up into the skies, you know, again, we've got a lunar eclipse. So we've had two, I think, in last month. And this month has been very much a mystical month. Yeah, and for that reason, we're going to add to the mystery by having my sister in the studio in order to give us a bearing from an astrological perspective. Yeah, so we'll be looking forward to welcoming her. But in the meantime, let me play you a track whilst I settle down. Yeah, so stay blessed, family.
Yo yo yo, wo yo yo yo, wo yo yo yo, wo yo, wo yo yo yo, wo yo yo yo, wo yo yo yo, wo yo. Don't you trouble Zion, don't you trouble Zion. Zion is a place no sinner cannot enter there. Don't you trouble Zion. Don't you trouble Zion. Don't you trouble Zion. Zion is a place no sinner cannot enter there. Don't you trouble Zion. Mommy room you can't go in there. Mommy room you can't go in there. Mommy room got one door, she's gone to heaven gate now. Mommy room you can't go in there. Daddy room you can't go in there. Daddy room you can't go in there. Daddy room got one door, he's gone to heaven
Yes, family. Greetings and welcome to our show, and I'm hoping obviously that you'll have your pens and paper ready because you are going to need them to better understand the constellations, what it is that's happening up in the up in the stars, yeah, with the moon, the sun, everything that is coming into alignment, particularly coming the 21st of December. Yeah, so there are challenges ahead of us, but they're only challenging if we do not understand. Yeah, so we have got a special one in the studio who will be able to enlighten us as to the meaning as well as the significance of what it is that we are now seeing. So, what was hidden from the wise and now is being revealed to us babes and sucklings. So, be awoke to the situations, my family. Have your pens, have your papers ready, yeah, to be enlightened and to have a better understanding as to where we are at this time and why it is that certain things are happening around and about us, yeah, particularly the ones to which we do not understand, yeah. But whilst my guest is on her way, let me do what is customary and to greet yourselves, family, yeah, and find out how it is that you are doing. And I'm obviously hoping that you are doing fine, irrespective of all that is happening around and about us. And first and foremost, my respect to the ancestors on whose shoulders I do stand. Yeah, to the management and engineers for making this program possible. That's to say, bless radio1.com to afford us this blessing to know thyself more for the benefit of our community. My respect to the kings and queens out there active in the fight for justice, because with no justice there is no peace. It's not been a very busy week insofar as a protest for myself, but nonetheless I attended a protest, as I mentioned earlier, on Saturday, which I supported. I wasn't part of the planning, but nonetheless I responded to the call with my drum. Yeah, again I say salute to the soldiers and the generals on the front line, taking the stand, not kneeling or bowing at this time. Respect to the Joy Gardener family for their enduring strength, and to those who give their support to their causes. The Windrush generation again now causing this government an headache. Respect goes out to the family of loved ones lost also. Yeah, my big respect goes out for the spirited support for Saturday, which was quite phenomenal. I mean, there was thousands of us out there on the street in protest. Just bear with me a moment, family. I've just got a call coming in. Just bear with us a moment. Sorry. Come home. Oh.
And yet still the Rasta man a cry. We not gonna let the devil control us. No, 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 no. We coulda plan them plot, no matter how hard them try. Remember God is standing by your side. Standing by your side. Just a little love is what we need, what we need. With a little encouragement, every man can succeed. Oh Lord, put away your hatred and your greed, For in this a time, children, you better sow good seed. Come on, do you remember Marcus and all the wonderful teachings he taught us? Yeah, do you remember Martin? He had a vision for all of the children. Whoa, Try remember Malcolm for his determination and wisdom, yeah. And don't forget Brother Nelson, cause they could never keep a good man down. More than 400 years, and yet still the Rasta man cry. I never let the devil control that. Oh Lord, no, 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 no. You could have planned them plot, no matter how hard them try. Remember God is standing by your side, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just standing by your side, yes, my side, on the time. So don't be fooled, everything that glitters is not gold, no. We're just
Right, family, I do apologize, yeah, but the lady is in the house, okay? So do forgive myself. I would have lost my chain of thoughts, but nonetheless, more importantly, she's in the warmth and she's not outside lingering in the cold, okay? Right, so yeah, what have I done with my folder, my file? Oh my word. Okay, just bear with me. I seem to have lost my bearing. Okay.
I believe, I believe, I believe in Him. I walk and I talk, I search till I found my Lord. He was always there, waiting for my call. His arms is open for you and me. Just in Him, and you will see. I believe in Jesus, my Savior. It's a long time, girl, I've known you, and many good things I have shown you. So you should understand the man in me. Through all the good times and the bad times, you never played around with my mind. All the blessings we have are plenty enough to see.
Okay. All right. So you see, I've kind of lost it, haven't I? Okay, right, let me just try and get myself back on track, yeah? Our special guest is in the studio, and she will give her own introduction afterwards. But this program is such a mystical program. It's the first one that I've experienced in that it won't be videoed in any way, yeah? So mystical is this show today, yeah? And I suppose it ties in with the fact there's so much lunar eclipse or so many full moon. There's so much happening up in the air that we need to have an understanding, and I have to comply. You understand, insofar as where we are and the experience of my sister who is here with us in the studio. Last week was fortunate. We had the brother Vasco. Brother Vasco had made reference to this fantastic lady. Galactic Clyde also had made reference to this special lady. So there's something really special about this lady that I have conceded. You understand? So I've set aside the cameras. The only thing that you'll be seeing of this program is Bless FM, which is obviously we're encouraging of yourself to know yourself. What I'm going to be asking of you nonetheless is that you have your pens and your papers ready. Yeah? Because this is very much a learning for me. And it's going to be the same for many of yourselves out there who are listening. Now, I had been through the script, and I've mentioned, obviously I've mentioned Galactic Clyde, I've mentioned Vasco. Without a doubt, I cannot go without mention Douglas Williams and the family, as well as Lady Leo. So I hope that will put me back on track insofar as what had been going on and where the spirit of our ancestors lies. You know, it's those of us who are falling, you know, and joining the ancestors, you know, who are also adding to this spiritual fight that is needed, this battle that is needed, because, you know, it's not a physical thing. We're having spiritual warfare at the moment, and we therefore need to understand it, okay? So I have to also pay my respect to the brothers and sisters from Birmingham who I had met on Saturday at the protest that had originally started at King's Cross. And amongst those, it so happened that they ended up that six of us, yeah, the total six of us in the taxi. We went to King's Cross. We weren't able to protest there. The police effectively moved us on because there was more of them than us, and they were there strategically, and they moved us on. And I did manage to get an interview with one of the senior officers as well as some of the other officers who were there. But again, that will be shown at some later date when it's downloaded. So maybe I will give that to the studio that they'll transmit um, in conjunction with this program. Yeah. So we weren't able to protest at King's Cross. So what we had was to do, we had was to jump in a taxi. Yeah. So six of us jumped in a taxi and we set about to find where others had gathered themselves. And amongst the five of us, there was a lady from Hampstead who was a church lady. You know, as I said, you know, she was from Hampstead, you know, but, you know, when you're on the front line, you know, in protest, you meet up with all types. You understand? Because we're there for one aim, you know, which is to fight against this pandemic, this lockdown or illegal lockdown. Yeah. So what we did is we took a taxi from King's Cross to Oxford Street, where we joined the march, intending to go to Downing Street. I joined it with my drum, so my drum was really welcome, considering I was playing a beat. You know what I'm saying? And we were going down, we were going along Oxford Street, where we then joined Regent Street, and then we were funneled into a side street, and then we were held there for about an hour and a half. You understand? And yeah, then the police set about their strong arm tactics, arresting a number of people. You know, so having been there for a good while, eventually we ended up back at Hyde Park. And when we got to Hyde Park, yeah, the police, they block all the entrances. You understand? So it wasn't a public space anymore. For whatever reason, they had the authority, or they gave themselves the authority, was to block the entrance. Nonetheless, some of us jumped over the fence, of course, and some of us got it by other means. Yeah. So overall, was it worth it? Most definitely. I made good contacts, and my actions, I do believe, was justified. I also, as I'd mentioned, managed to interact on camera with senior officers as well as some of the minor officers, which is documented. Yeah. So that basically is my Saturday, you know. So I don't know as to what yourselves have been doing. It's not giving me any stripes. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, if we don't take a stand, I mean, I'm seeing videos today where a situation in France, as an example, has caused riots, you know, and that's where some others are taking a stand, yeah, as a collective, as opposed to leaving our one another vulnerable individually, yeah. So you have to be mindful, because the government is causing confusion in their lockdown, because their one intention is to give us injection, and already they're talking about a fourth phase after Christmas, you know. So what will this bring for the new year? You understand? So if we don't take a stand now, then it's going to get to a point, because as the police officers, they're telling us about acts. Acts are not laws. Yeah? So they're breaking laws. They're meant to be law enforcement officers. Yeah? And they're telling us about acts. You know? Now, when it does become law, then what are they going to do? They're going to bring in the army. You see, so we have to take a stand, my family, because if we don't do it now, yeah, we're going to suffer the consequences. And when the injection comes in, it's going to become mandatory, for the simple reason that we didn't take a stand in protesting. Yeah, so if we don't protest whilst we can, they're going to take that as a green card or green light in order for them to bring in the law. You know, so I don't really know what to say, but whilst we can run the risk, because a number of people get arrested, but when you get arrested, it's just as when you basically it's like a speed fine, to my understanding. It's not like you end up with a criminal record, you know. So there's certain principles to which you have to, you know, really and truly take a stand on, you know. So I've turned to the good book, yeah, and I'm asking you, yeah, from the good book, to free yourself of petty concerns and put principle above all else, yeah. You must avoid the least thought of personal gain or position when making collective decisions. Okay, so we're making individual decision. Everybody is for themselves. It's like what Maggie Thatcher had brought in, selfishness. Yeah, we're not thinking as a collective, and for us to think as a collective, yeah, then I have to consider the reason as to why I'm in this seat. Yeah, because our good brother Dougie always talk about unity, and unity is about the collective. Yeah, so my ancestors, their sacrifice, it must not be in vain. Yeah, it must not be in vain, my family. And I'm asking of you to give due consideration. How did you get here? You know, you didn't just arrive. Yeah, sacrifices have been made. Yeah, so with all that being said, yeah, let me go back. Yeah, and I'm going to ask my sister to brace herself so that, yeah, when we come in, we're going to be on track. Yeah, so manners and respect, family. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, but we are where we are. Yeah, there are forces out there that we need to understand. Yeah, and my sister, Mama Essie, who is in the studio, is going to bless us with her knowledge, her experience, and why is that she wants to share her blessings with us on Bless FM so that you will know thyself, yeah, on radio. Blessed love.
Remember that no man is an island. Oh no. So don't be afraid to give a helping hand. Tell me, am I not my brother's keeper? Let me know. Show love. You got to sow some seeds. Love, yeah. Show love. Yeah. That's what the children need. Show some love. Show some love. Yeah. Yes, you know that we need all of the love we can get. Now together we go on. Our nation is so strong. Let us move on hand in hand to the promised land. Step in one accord, giving eyes to our Lord. No matter how times are, we must get a reward. Sometimes it's so hard to see where you're going. So you got to remember where you're coming from. Overstanding is the only thing that keeps the world turning. Words of righteousness will always live on. Yes, they will. Show love. You got to sow some seeds. Love, love, hey. Show love, yeah. That's what your children need. Love, love, hey. Yes, you know that we need all of the love we can get. Oh,
Okay, family, are you ready? Have you got your pens and paper? Yeah? And let me give you the studio number, yeah, which is 079 444 31366. Are you ready for it again? 079 444 31366. And on that, I've got my writing pad. I've got to find myself a pen though, being on it. Oh, here's a pen. Yeah. So I am ready. Yeah, so my family, we've got Mama Essie in the studio, and I'm going to ask of her, she could give a brief introduction. Obviously, I mean, she has told me that she's been studying astrology for a long period of time, but I'd like for her to share this with yourself, because as much as we are not being on video, I thought it was important nonetheless that she is here with me in the studio. Yeah, because she could also have just phoned in at her convenience. Yeah, but I really wanted to see her in person, and for us to share that vibration. Yeah, because as with the drums, there's certain powers that even myself I'm coming to understand with the conversations that I was having with my good brothers from up in Birmingham. Yeah, so I'd like to pay my respect to Stars, who I know resides in London, and the brother was Wayne from up there in Birmingham. A number of them came down. Forgive me for not remembering the others, but I did do a recording with us in the taxi, and when we were at King's Cross. Okay, but yeah, that is secondary. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, my good sister is bracing herself. Yeah, she's going to give her introductions, and she's going to tell us the significance of the period of time that we're in, because again we've got is it a
lunar eclipse?
A lunar eclipse tomorrow.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then the 21st of December again, that's going to be phenomenal, because
Yes.
all these planets are coming into alignment. You understand? So we need to know if we're going to drop down, if we're going to start fly, if we can crawl up the walls and things like that, if we can blow and people just drop down in front of us. We need to know what powers that's going to give us. Yeah? So please, my sister, the audience is anxiously waiting for you.
Thank you, my brother. Greetings, family. Greetings, Blessed FM radio listeners. My name is Mummy Essie, and I'd like to say thank you to Brother Clive for extending the invitation to me yesterday. It was a lovely surprise.
No,
and
I'm honored. I'm
thank
humbled.
you. And sometimes I had to kind of just rearrange certain things, so I'm sorry that I did kind of upset the balance at the beginning in getting here.
No,
but
everything I say happens for a reason,
It does,
because
it
we
does.
need to connect more so now with our spiritual, our inner self.
Yes,
You understand? Our
definitely.
intuition, telepathy, all of these things which aligns with our true nature that some of us have lost our insight and sight of because of the illusion that has been projected by Western society. But you are gifted because you still maintain, or you at least you've learned to better understand. So just feed us with your knowledge.
Okay. Thank you, but thank you for the compliment. I wouldn't say that I'm gifted. What I've learned is what all of us can learn and what we're all connected to. We're all connected to the source
Yeah,
as
but
well.
the gift is to understand it.
Oh, we all have that understanding. We
No,
all
but that's
have
what I'm saying.
that.
A lot of people learn,
Yeah.
but they don't understand it.
Oh. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's one thing learning something, because a lot of people go in a book, they study it, yeah, and they regurgitate it, and they still don't understand it.
Yeah, I understand. I hear you. I hear you.
So that is a blessing to have that.
Thank
Yeah?
you. Give
Okay.
thanks, my brother. Thank you. I was see that. So yes, well, my name is Mami Essie. I was born in Ghana, Cape Coast, west coast of Africa. So
Okay.
hence my name. And my name is in Ghana. Culturally, we have day names. So we have the astrology there in most of the African traditional cultures, because based on the day that we are born, we have what is called a kwadzin, which is your soul name, which is named after the day that you're born, which is also connected with the planets. And then with the planets and the day that you're born bestowed a certain characteristic trait, and that spirit and that soul of that planet, that deity, walks with us. So whenever we call our name, we're calling our destiny and our purpose, and we're connecting back
Wow.
with our souls and our spirits. So
Wow.
even, and it took me learning and coming to grasp with astrology to even appreciate deeper what culturally I was coming from, where I was coming from.
You know, I'm so deflated knowing that my name is Clive.
Oh, do you know the day that you were born, brother? Did you know your day? The
No,
day. Okay. Well, if
no.
you find out, I'll tell you. I'll tell
Okay.
you. Go on.
So
Let
I've
me give
got
you a banner.
there's a new name around there for me.
It was already there. It was already there.
Oh,
You're
it's
just gonna
already
claim
there.
it
I need
back
to
from
find
when
it.
you were born.
Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
it's
I
there.
need to find it.
So we all have that. So it's not just. So again, in the Western culture, there's this thing like again the whole day names, and so basically this little background on myself. So I was born in Ghana, and I came here. Hello. Yes, your face was really hungry.
Don't disturb us, man. Okay.
Sorry, family.
Okay. Management is in the house, family. So the extended family is in the house,
Wow.
family.
Thank you. Sorry. And so, for the past 20 years, I've been on a journey of rediscovering, I guess, realigning back with my purpose and my destiny, which was to reconnect with the stars and reconnect with the understanding of the stars. And so it started in the early 2000s. I used to get some books on astrology, and I was it put my interest. I just thought, oh, this resonates. There's something here to it. And then in 2005, I met with Brother Clyde at a Sister Rosanna shop. Shout out to Sister Rosanna at Marta Books, and she was hosting some. It was a Saturday night, and there used to be lectures of different speakers, Brother Israel and different other speakers would pass through. And Brother Galactic Clyde came through one day, and he gave a speech, and thought, oh wow! And then luckily, a couple of weeks later, there was like a 5-week introductory astrology course that started. So we embarked on those classes, and then had a friendship with Brother Clyde, and from there my interest and love for astrology just kind of took off even further. But you live life, see, you're doing life, but then 2014, 2015, I decided that I wanted to study this further and apply myself more to it. So I enrolled in an astrology school on a 3-year course. So I studied and enrolled in it further, and then during that period I also gained a diploma in chirology, which is just a nice word for what is commonly known as palm reading or palmistry, hand analysis.
Okay.
So that all ties in again with the planets and the planetary elements and everything, and our hands are linked with our destiny. And then I also embarked on that period as well. I studied Vedic astrology, known as Jyotish. So so I kind of dabble with two hands in two paths and two realms of the astrology, and that's all kind of part of my destiny as well for my astrological chart. And I do astrological readings. I wrote some articles in Astrological magazine, and that's where I am right now.
You did for magazines?
Yes, I wrote an article for a magazine, online magazine called Celestial Vibes. It's an astrological.
Is that a monthly?
It's bio. It's every
monthly,
3 months.
every
Yes,
3
yes.
months.
It's with
Okay.
some really great,
Okay.
astrologists.
Okay, well, what I would like to say on that is, for the November month, we started, November month, I had Galactic Clyde in here.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we said that this month was going to be a mystical month,
Mm-hmm.
and reason being because there was a full moon, I believe, at the beginning,
Yes, that's
yeah,
right. At the end.
and also, or was that the month before? I think it was probably October, either one at the beginning or one at
It was
the
the 31st of October, the full moon. Yeah, the last.
full. Yeah, so I
yeah.
think October had two
Only moon,
full
right.
moon, one at
Mm.
the beginning and one
That's
at
right,
the
two
end.
full moons. That's correct.
Yeah, and I've been around Galactic Clyde for I don't even know, it's probably about 2 years
Mhm.
now. We started our year last year or this year at Glastonbury,
Oh wow!
myself and the drums.
Oh, I love.
So we made that connection, that vibration.
Mm-hmm.
We'd worked together, obviously, doing some of his work outside of the astrological side. But we started this month, and we said this month was going to be a mystical month.
Mm-hmm.
But in life, there's also balance. So we started with the male
Yes. Yes.
And it was so important to get
Yes.
the feminine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's where the excitement came in, to have you put an end. And I think he's also said that he's going to continue on it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but also because of the clash, this program has, because there is what do you call it? There's like an indictment that a group is being put together on the sevens, and I forgot the gentleman, but there is an indictment that we're going to pose on certain governments
Wow.
for what is happening to us
Yes.
illegally
Yes.
at this present stage. Yeah, but that is another story in itself. But insofar as where we are at here now,
Yes.
in welcoming yourself, what I would like is for you to draw on your experience, your knowledge, your understanding, so that the listeners who are out there can have a better understanding of possibly with how the year had started and how it's likely to end, and then what is to come.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because when you understand the constellation and all of these things, you see the past, the present, and the future. Yeah? Which a lot of us lose sight of, because the stars, the light that we would normally see up above, Western society have created them on Earth. And the light down here blind us from seeing what we really need to see. So we're not looking from out of darkness into light. We're trying to see from light into light, and the light down here blind us before we even take off.
Yes.
So if I can ask of yourself to look on what we've been through, yeah, what is presently happening with the and how it affects our vibration, our nature. Why is that we will fall out if we don't have the understanding as to the opposite balance and how we need to balance.
I hear that, my brother. Well, it's a good point that you made with regarding the light. And what I would say, though, is out of darkness comes light. So even in the pit of darkness, we need to have the darkest nights for when for the stars to shine the brightest.
Yeah.
So even in periods, there's many things that happen in fours and four seasons, and we have world ages. Just like we have 4 seasons, we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. We also have greater celestial seasons as well, and epochs of 4 great celestial seasons. So sometimes, I don't know if you've heard of the ages of man. So we have the ages of gold, silver, bronze, and iron, I think it is. And it's the same. And so many of the traditional cultures, ancient cultures, spoke about these great periods, these 4 ages. Where we're currently now in Vedic astrology, it's also known also in Igbo, Nigerian cosmology as well, and astronomy, astrology, sciences, of where we have they have world ages called, in Nigeria it's called Uga, which is spelled UGA.
UGA.
And in India, in the Vedic system, they're called Yugas, which is YUGA. So already you see a similarity in the names and a commonality in the source from where that's all coming from. So, if we take also Indian Vedic astrology is really our ancient Kushite African astrology extended, because our ancient empires extended all there. Exactly. So our empires extended there. So when for me, going back and understanding Vedic astrology and studying Vedic astrology, I was again tying back again an ancient part of our source and our culture. So and then you again tie the links when you go back to Mother Africa. So again, that's where that link with the Yugas. So in the Vedic, this age and this epoch that we're in is called the Kali Yuga. Kali. Kali. After the goddess of destruction and regeneration, Kali Ma. So this age was prophesied of the age of spiritual darkness, spiritual ignorance, where we would lose ourselves, we would lose all history of ourselves, right living, right connection, right, just basically the right ways, the ancient right ways. And a lot of what we see happening all around us, the disconnection from self, from each other, from nature, the wanton destruction that's everywhere, that was all prophesied. That's all a sign of this age. It's also, if you want to associate it with the seasons that we have, it's the age of winter. So when you look at it, we're embarking on winter right now, where the leaves are falling, everything, nature and everything is going within itself. It appears dead, it appears dull, it appears devoid. But within that same period is that seed to germinate the light and the resurrection again. Hence why we see that with Christmas, it's that Christmas is the birth of Christ, the birth of that light. The Christos, and it's also symbolic of the birth within us as well. So we go through miniature periods of dying and resurrecting all the time. Regenerating within ourselves and our psyches and our spirits, and also within the seasonal collective and the galactical collective.
Right. So without losing your thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this present government leaning on this dying process in order to justify this COVID thing to a certain? Would you be able to say?
Yeah, I can tie that in with, if we come back to this period, this year, like you asked earlier on regarding what's happened this year, the planetary alignments this year, everything again happens in cycles and seasons, and things come back again. So this year, on the 12th of January, there was an alignment between the planets Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. Saturn, as the planets represent, their essence is their principles. They represent energies and everything. And so this Saturn as a planet represents time. It represents elderly, old age. It represents things that have been things that are breaking down, structures that are breaking down. Pluto, which has now been relegated to a dwarf planet, which is considered the 10th planet, right in the outer sphere, Pluto is about destruction. It's linked with the Hindu god Shiva. So Pluto breaks down in order to recreate again. And this has taken place in the sign of Capricorn, which is a sign, Capricorn is rules government, big business, the establishment, tradition, the hierarchy. And so when this alignment happened, the last time this alignment happened was 1518, the year 1518, when we saw the destruction of the old world, which was all of our great African ancient kingdoms. And we saw the emergence of the New World when Christopher Columbus, when the emergent paradigm. So something broke away for something new to come again or to be created. And so 500 odd years later, 500 years later, we find ourselves back in this same predicament. So obviously, this has been known about. Those are powers that be, they study astrology and they understand the dynamics in the world. So they will cater and structure things in alignment to benefit themselves, due to planetary alignment. So it's for everybody else and to be able to understand and to start reconnecting and understanding where the dynamics and where all this is leading to. So this is why the year 2020 has been a year where we see decimation and the breaking down of financial structures, our liberties, everywhere we're looking at, just like quantum, everything is breaking down. So they're breaking down one world order in order to recreate another. And I don't know if you've been hearing of this new great reset. And it's not conspiracy theories. There's books. There's a gentleman called Klaus Schwab. I'm not sure if he's something like that, or is his last name. And it's out there. So from January, there's going to be a new paradigm that's already in play, which we're kind of seeing all around us, sadly being implemented and being at play. And on the 21st of December there's a grand conjunction. The two planets again, Saturn, and this time it's going to be Jupiter, are going to be in alignment in a cycle. It's a 20-year conjunction where these two planets meet every 20 years, and when they generally meet, it has an effect on society and global affairs. But what's even more special about this alignment is that it's happening. They meet in cycles in in elements. So we have 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. In the past 200 years, when they've met in earth signs, which would be Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. With one exception in Libra in 1980. So we've been very much and very earth-centered for 200 years. And when they meet on the 21st of December this year, they're going to take a leap into the sign of air signs for the next 200 years. And it's starting in the sign of Aquarius. And this is all going to take place again also on the winter solstice,
And
21st.
the winter solstice is going to be the 21st.
That's right, the 21st of December.
Okay.
And that's where we've been hearing a lot of talk about a great awakening
Great
that's going to be
awakening.
happening in the next couple of days later. But
Okay. Well, I think that the drummers need to be ready.
yes, definitely.
The drummers
Yes,
need to
yes.
be ready. Okay. So that's one thing this year that we've turned to, the
Right.
vibration. But interestingly, you said January of next year.
Yes.
And we've got a president in waiting, and a president that don't want to relinquish his position.
Yes.
But the common denominator is the fact that the time of that decision is in January.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what you've said there is kind of tweak my ears a little bit
Yes.
as to the significance of January. So the powers that be are aware as to the significance of the alignment of the planets, and to a certain extent we have lost our common knowledge, then say, of how the environment, astrology and all of these things impact on us. So for want of knowledge, we obviously will suffer the consequence.
Well, I mean, I guess in order to say, I mean, the powers that be haven't come out and ever stated that they're aware of this knowledge. But you see, when once you study astrology, once you see how things operate in alignment, so you think, well, this isn't all just cosmically. Some things is naturally by design, and something is natural coincidence, but something is definitely in alignment with divine, divine astronomical occurrences. So yes, and again, we are also working because the planets work through us all the time without us even necessarily being aware. And we have the planet Mars also, which is Mars is to do with warfare, bravery, asserting oneself, battle. And Mars is in its own sign of Aries. It's been in there since, I think, June, July. And that's very powerful. When a planet is in its own sign, it's very powerful, it's very charged. And what happened was from September the 9th till November the 14th, Mars was going in what we call retrograde motion. Retrograde is when the planet appears to be going backwards in time from Earth's vantage point, though it's not really. It's kind of like an optical illusion, but it goes slower. So when a planet is in retrograde, it's not asserting itself like it doesn't operate like how it usually does. So it's kind of, the energy is kind of inert, it's kind of stagnant, it's kind of slow. So when this period was happening, we saw a lot of these rules and regulations that have been coming into play since March anyway. But from the 4th of November, when Mars turned direct, it was anticipated, astrologers, we saw that this was going to be a time of takeoff where we're going to see more people taking it up to the streets, more protests, more people fighting basically back for their liberties, because Mars is kind of acting, and we see that now where we see the protests, we see people standing up, coming together collectively, forming unions, collectives, working out strategic ways of how to combat and get back our liberties and fight the good fight. So, there's many ways, and there's many ways of strategy. Mars is also a great strategist. So that's how it's generating, it's blending out. And even with with the drumming, again, that's a force, that's a vibration, that's a beat, that's a Martian energy. And before we used to go to warfare, in battle in ancient times, we would beat that drum to erect that spirit of Ogun. And Ogun the Orisha is linked with Mars, Ogun.
How do you spell Ogun?
Ogun.
Ogun.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, without a doubt, without any insight other than on the ascension day of my good brother Dougie. um, 4 drummers had gathered. I was there with my little camera,
Yeah.
because brother Dougie, I mean, I've known brother Dougie over 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I was there, because first he was at my birthday,
Yeah.
and on his birthday we thought that we would bring the drums together, you know. But more so on his ascension, um, the lockdown had occurred, so there wasn't any spiritual rites of passage.
Yeah.
One of the things that he had done, he introduced me to what's then the Godwin Lawson Foundation
Okay.
to look at effective parenting,
Right.
and I embarked on that program. Yeah, but I've been embarked on that program. It brought us together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying, boy, Dougie, I ain't seen you for so many years. I ain't gonna leave you an inch
Yes,
now.
yes.
You know, and then he was at my birthday, and then shortly after he passed. I'm still pinching myself, but nonetheless, what happened is on his ascension day, 4 drummers gathered, and the vibration set the car alarms off,
Wow.
and I saw that as being quite
Wow.
striking.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and I
Wow.
said, imagine if we had 1,000 drums
Yes. Wow.
with that
It's very-
vibration.
yes,
You know, and again, I had that experience when Bernie Grant was service was held in Alexandra Palace,
Wow.
and the drummers they gathered, you know, and the
Yes,
impression that it left on me,
Wow.
you know. So I've been compelled, along with the drums, and then as I said, with Galactic Clyde, we went to Glastonbury,
Yeah.
and we beat the drum in the Thor,
Wow.
and we saw the effects it had on
Wow.
people.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when I see these things, I know the vibration is very powerful.
Very. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and it's how we can harness that as a collective, and not for any individual, you know, to take it and run it and enclose it, put it in a pigeonhole,
Yes.
you know. So we're wrestling against that at the present, but you know, I would like, obviously, for the listeners out there to better understand, because I can see from yourself who have the understanding, you will always have a smile on your face, because nothing is going to surprise you because of the knowledge you have. Yeah, so I'd like, if possible, for you to impact where we are at now. Yeah, you've gone back to January at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So where we're at now, obviously we're protesting because Mars and all of those things is having that adverse effect on us.
Yeah.
We're not as collective, it would appear, as those who are in France as an example. They totally commit. For whatever reason, what I experienced on Saturday, a number of people got arrested, but we were still following the directions of the police.
Yeah.
I mean, they herd us into one corner,
Wow.
and then they had us trapped. Yeah, and not enough of us was prepared to fight our way out. We just conform.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
No, I'm advocating, but if we're going to do it, we need to do it collectively. So it's like one of the thought that came to my mind is maybe when we go, we should handcuff ourselves. So when they arrest us, they don't arrest an individual. They arrest 6 people or 7 people.
Yes,
You understand? And when they see it's impossible to arrest 7 people at a time, they will leave us alone. You know? So these are the things that when I do go out, it opens up my eyes.
Yeah.
So strategies
Yes.
do
yes.
come in place.
Yes,
You understand?
yes.
Again, I linked up with some brothers from Birmingham, yeah, who is now wanting to get a drum, and then for us now also to come to Birmingham.
Yeah.
You understand? So out of that journey on Saturday, I made links.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's so important that we act as collective, because when you're as a collective, nobody's an organizer.
Yes.
You know, which is going to be key. Yes, anyway, don't allow me to be rabbit on, you
No,
know.
not at
right?
all, my
You
brother,
need
not
to
at all.
take control. This is your platform to
Not at
inform
all.
the listeners out there, as well as myself. So do
Yes.
educate us where we're at now and how we're going to move forward.
Well, in regarding as you were saying this, I suppose we've been locked in fear a lot of fear. And again, the planet Saturn is also associated with fear. And because at the start of this epidemic, if you want to call it that, there was so much, people just didn't know what to think. It just came out of the blue. It's knocked everybody for six. And it's left a lot of trauma in many people. People have physically lost loved ones, they physically lost livelihoods, they physically lost their sense of routine, liberties, everything. So it's just like, it's like a bereavement process. It's a process. You have to kind of process and internalize the loss. You have to internalize what has happened, and then kind of then start to pick yourself up, into this new world that we were all kind of we all found ourselves thrust in. And so it's a time where we have to be patient and understanding with ourselves, and it's a time of where, again, individually, because with the whole astrology, we all come here and we all have a purpose, and we're all here for a different purpose and for different things. We all have different temperaments, so and a different mindset and a way of seeing and doing things. So some of us have talents in one area, some of us have talents in other areas. And one of the key things that astrology does is it makes you understand and to get to know, like his, the slogan here for the station, know thyself, which was in the Wall of Kemet, to know thyself. And one of the best things, the greatest things, is when we start to know thyself, know ourselves, know our challenges, know our weaknesses, and also knowing our strengths. And then from there, when we claim all of it, the light and the shadow sides of us, then when we're honest with ourselves, and we can be honest and open with each other and come definitely to the table with everything. So we can come with no ego to say, well, I'm not good at this, but like I could come to you, but I'm not good at this, but you were good at this. You were good at organising, you were good at generating, I might understand the stars. Another person, they might understand this, and might know how to build, they may. So we come together, and then we strategize, we think, and then we then slowly start to build. But it starts first with knowing ourselves, knowing thyself, loving ourselves, and then having humility, but also strength, and also being able to admit and acknowledge what you're good at.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said that, because last week Brother Vasco was in that chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ego, it broke it down to edging God out. Yeah, and it is a case when you don't know yourself or thyself, that ego sets in. We've all got individual strength and blessing.
Yes.
So I can't do everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even I'm experiencing it amongst our group, even within the 1,000 drum, if others would forgive me for even saying. I can see ego has already set in. Yeah. That one side is claiming everything. You understand? And it takes the spirituality out of your action, because it's not by my might. My ancestors have instilled there's a certain spirit in me which is on their shoulders that I'm standing. And it's important that it continues that way. And you will only achieve that by having that understanding of yourself. And I'm glad that you've touched on that and allowed me to elaborate. You understand? Because it is a situation, as much as we can see the overall power and the vibrations, which has been thrown out there. Some is the ego is set in, so they want to claim all of it, and it's not the way forward. I can see,
But also the funny thing with ego is as well is it's good to have ego as well, because ego is what, in astrology, ego is linked with the sign of Aries, which is the I am. So it's good to have that sense of ego, because again, the I am, you know yourself. So when you know yourself, and then but the ego is, because the ego propels us, and it's what is meant to push us forward. The drive, exactly, that's the best way. It's not the drive to rule and control everybody else and everything around you. It's that drive, because you need that kind of drive and that ego to push you to do things and to want to do things and to get into things. But again, it's that balance. So
Yeah,
we
it's
have
a
to have the
collective.
balance, the collective
It's that
and balance.
collective,
Yes.
which is the thing that my good brother, the one thing my good brother has left as a legacy is that unity, 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 unity.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because no one hand can clap.
No, that's it. That's true. That's a good point. Yes, I
Yeah,
like that.
no
I
one
like that.
hand can clap.
Yes.
You,
Yes.
you understand? So if
Yes.
you follow ego, you're gonna tumble over.
That's right.
Yeah, if the other side leads and you
Mhm.
lose that balance, you're gonna tumble over.
That's right.
You know, so that's why I'm saying everything now needs to be in the spirit of my good brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
my good brother has left brother Vasco, brother Clyde.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm now trying to balance it with that female energy. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So again, you do look at it, as I say, even for yourself. Look
Yeah.
as to how you're gonna come back in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how it is we're gonna be able to utilize your energy, your knowledge, so people can identify with you. I mean, what I say, I would say I understand. There's no need for the image, because the word is the power. Yeah.
Right.
The visual is more ego than anything
Yes,
else.
yes,
You understand?
yes,
So
yes.
that's where I concede. Yeah, because oftentimes I hide myself. I take pictures. My most powerful pictures is when my back is turned.
Wow. Yes, that's one of the most powerful pictures, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree,
When my
yes,
back is
yes,
turned.
Yes.
You see what I'm
That
saying?
makes
When they
statements.
can't identify
Yes,
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
definitely.
that's the way I think of moving forward when
Yes.
you can face to face with others. You know?
Definitely.
But anyway, please educate us. Don't
Yes,
let
but
me talk.
no, and it's fine. This is also, you were saying again, you were talking astrology without fully realizing it when you talked about the balance. Because when I mentioned Aries, the opposite sign, again astrologically, each sign has an opposite counterpart sign. And so the counterpart sign to Aries is the sign of Libra. And Libra, when you see the image astrologically for Libra, is of the scales, the balance.
Balance,
It's sort of
okay.
the scales of justice. So where Aries is about the I, the ego, Libra is about the we, the us. So Libra takes all of the opposite traits and balances it back out and reflects it back to Aries. So it's about the we. So where Aries want to just go in, battle, ask questions later, Libra will be like, no, let's talk, let's reason, rationalize, diplomacy. I'm going to hear you out, and then I'm going to kind of step in and come to the plate. So again, you always see there's always that to and fro, that yin and the yang and the balance all the time that's always there. And so we just always got to, so Libras are really, it's a good sign to always kind of be able to address and check ourselves in times are we in balance? Because everything is about balance. Everything that we do and what we have to seek is about being in balance and being in alignment. So to just say there, so again, we talk a lot of times, we talk astrology and we're acting astrology without even fully realizing it, because it's in us.
Yeah, I don't understand or I've lost the insight. Yeah, because when I was growing up in Jamaica, I came here in '69.
Yeah.
A lot of things just came naturally.
Yes.
But then you lose sight of things, i.e., would you say herbs, plants? Yeah, for me to understand and to know the value of a plant, I have to go and study it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was growing up in the West Indies, I just experienced it because it's part of your natural nature.
Yes.
You know, so we lose that because
Yes.
we, for whatever reason, compromise. We think everything that needs to be taught, you have to go to school.
Yes.
You don't think you go out in the garden and you
That's right.
you learn
That's
these
right.
things. But yeah, we are where we are. But at the same time, obviously, I'm trying to draw down on what knowledge you have, because as you said, it means then there's certain things which is in us naturally. It just needs to be identified.
That's
And
right.
the best person to do it is somebody with the understanding of it.
That's right.
So let us go back to where we are and how we're going to move forward.
Yes.
Particularly, we look at the 500 years. So we could say, no doubt, we as melanated people, we've been in bondage. So what role do we, or should we be looking to play at this stage? Yeah, because you've mentioned about the transition from the old, where Western society has had a run
Yeah.
for almost 500 years. So as it come back to us now to take the mantle or the baton and to balance things back out again, where are we?
It's gonna be a long process because, I mean, from we got to where we got to globally, collectively, everything via a process. So picking ourselves back up again, globally and collectively, is going to be a process. And again, it comes down to things that we have to again be honest about within ourselves, personally and as collectively. There's weeds and thorns that we have to weed out from within ourselves and collectively. And when we start addressing those aspects within ourselves, sometimes our attention has been, rightfully and naturally so, focused somewhere else. And that focus is also given that power more so to something and somebody else's.
Versus-
And so we have to go back and retrieving that power within ourselves. Going back, it's like you're saying, understanding nature, going back to understanding the cycles of nature, understanding, because again, it's all practical. We have to know agriculture. We have to know, going back to just, being at one with nature, first and foremost. Growing our own crops, having control and produce of our own crops, our own seeds as well, not genetically modified, homogenized seeds, going back to the organic, natural. So we have to get back to just being natural again. And the original stargazers, before we learned astrology, they learned from studying and going out there and looking at the night sky, patterning out the constellations, studying and charting, the different phases of the moon, time. So everything was done from observance, observation,
and experience.
and experience. And that's exactly what we need to start teaching our young, our youth, and ourselves. So it's the little things, and it's always organic because we live in an organic Mother Earth. It's not technologicalized; it's organic.
Well, I know that because obviously I'm from the West Indies. I wasn't born here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know the difference, and over the years, a lot of things is now being flavored, and I'm talking about artificial flavor. So everything is assimilated.
Yes.
So it is a great challenge, and a lot of us, as Bob would say, we're mentally enslaved because we've adopted other people's ways. We've lost our identity. I want to say identity, our natural way of doing and processing things. So it is a challenge, but it's a worthy challenge because if we don't address it, humanity is gonna disappear.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the earth ain't gonna be destroyed. The earth will always be here.
Yes.
Yeah, but insofar as race is concerned, if we follow the trajectory to which things are going at the moment, we're gonna become like Borgs. We're gonna be part human and part machine.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
If we follow it, because
Yeah,
that to
definitely.
me is the purpose of this injection.
Yes.
And if that is the case, it means then for the next 500 years they'll be kicking the can further up the road rather than down, kicking it back.
Yes.
You see? So
Yes.
these are the things that we need the listeners or the public out there to understand, that we do need to take a stand.
Yes, we do.
On the principle to which we know are right.
Yes. And also we need, all of us, we need to study more, and we need to, because sometimes you can tell somebody something, but it's only when they go and do the research themselves or they have the experience of something themselves that does it kind of penetrate more. So you kind of even seen with the whole issue with the vaccines coming up, the more and more people are looking into it now, the more and more people's eyes are awakening and why, and they're seeing what it is about and what it entails, and they do not want it. And the people that sometimes were complacent or were entrusting of the medical establishment and the government are now starting to question and seriously question a lot of things. And also this kind of comes back down to this where we are at today, tomorrow, this full moon, this lunar eclipse moon, which
lunar eclipse.
yes, it's a lunar eclipse. and it's in a sign of Gemini, which is to do with Gemini is a sign rules news, information, communication, short travels. So in eclipse, like we're doing everything just audio today, is because an eclipse is when something is well, a lunar eclipse happens when the moon crosses the shadow of the earth. So it then casts the earth's shadow, which is called an umbra, casts a shadow onto the full moon. Because usually, when we see the full moon, it's lit, it's bright. So with the lunar eclipse, there's a temporary period where the moon is dimmed because of that shadow. And so it's like everything that happens out there is also reflected again that happens here on earth and within us. So when this darkening happens, it's like it's like a blackout or such. But what it is like the unconscious, deep unconscious things, contents that's there, things that are hidden, things are not necessarily
That's clear.
it's clear. It gets brought back up. So when the light comes back and the full moon is bright again, that which was hidden, obscured, is brought to is brought to manifestation. So for the next couple of days, even the next couple of weeks and months, more news is going to be coming out of things. So this is the time from this period tonight for us, the listeners, to be on the lookout for news and things coming out, revelations. Things that was going on in the dark is going to be brought to light. And it's again to do with that Gemini of informing ourselves. And the opposite sign to Gemini is Sagittarius, which is about truth and inner understanding. So whatever information we get, we process it, which is Gemini, and then it brings us to truth and greater understanding. And the sign of Sagittarius also rules legislation, justice. So the information will be coming privy to us in the next coming near future is things that we are going to take to help with judicial rulings that we might be wanting to undertake or go down that road.
Which is
as
like
well.
government decisions that governs us.
Acts, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. You mentioned reference, where people can go and research, find the truth for themselves,
Yes.
answer some of the questions by opening up some books, or in the case, just go on YouTube and right. Have you got any references that you can impact on the listeners out there?
No.
People that you've studied as an example that you can rely upon, because a lot of people out there, the information is not wholly correct.
Yes, there's my other phone. I've got no. Well, there's some good sources. There's a magazine called The Spectator. I think it's a Spectator. I should have got this beforehand. Actually, should have had a reference.
No,
but
but you will come back and you'll be better prepared.
Yes, I'll be better prepared definitely next time, and I'll come with definitely the resources. But there's good reputable information and sources out there, and I do find that a lot of people that put out content, they're usually it's usually proven to be on point. A lot of things, even from back in March and April, people putting out things, and you're seeing it's all manifesting and happening now. When people are talking about the nanotechnology that was going to be in these vaccines and the luciferous ingredients and all these different things in the chips.
Yeah, well,
it's all coming to light.
Yeah, there's a sister out there. I've been trying to get her in the studio on this nanotechnology, dealing with the frequency and how it can impact, because obviously I see that if we allow them to have drones, because they'll be able to use the frequency and zap us, so when it comes to, once they've got the injection and we want to now leave our house, because even the lampposts, the light has changed. It's a brighter light, which means it's more likely a higher frequency.
Yes.
It being a higher frequency, now if you've got the injection and you've got that microchip in you, when it comes out, it's going to trigger it. So going on the protest on Saturday, I saw a number of police, but they're soon going to replace those police with drones.
The drones, yes, definitely,
Yeah, and then when those drones are replaced, I won't be able to have no conversation with them. Yeah, as much as I was
Yeah.
having a conversation
Yes,
with
it
a
is.
senior police
Yes,
officer,
yes.
and
What goes
I
on
caught him on guard.
Yes.
Yeah, because I start asking him certain questions now,
Mhm.
and he couldn't answer because the
Mm.
responsibility is ultimately with him.
Yes,
He gives
yes.
his other officers the
Yes.
instructions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I so happened to identify him because he had a
Mhm.
red stripe on,
Ah, right,
different
yes.
from the others. So I
Yes.
targeted him.
Yes.
I went straight to him. I asked him the question. When I start asking the question, and he see
Mhm.
that it was getting awkward for him,
Yeah.
he start referring me down to his lessons. Yeah,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
wasn't really having it, you know.
Yes.
But at some point, you could see he was getting
Yeah.
irritated.
Well, it's been to, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in a situation where we can act now. Yeah, and whilst there isn't a law out there, we need also to act more collectively.
Mm.
So as a community, we need to be less cowardly.
Mm.
Yeah, because of this fear factor that they've instilled within us. Yeah, we're afraid to do so and so because, yeah, we have lost loved ones. Yeah, but we were losing loved ones anyway.
Yeah.
The difference is that we were able to mourn. We was able to go through that
Yes.
process.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very true.
they denied us that spiritual
Yes.
rights
Yes.
of
The
passage.
That's right.
Yeah, that is the most fundamental
It is.
thing that
It
they
is.
did.
Yes.
And doing the drums enable us, because even though we weren't able to gather in great numbers,
Mhm.
we were able to pace ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were able to do a fantastic
Yeah.
event in the park,
Yes.
and
That's
again
it.
space ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that has enabled us to get some solace.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
in this dire situation.
Yes, definitely.
You know, so we have to work as a collective and to be mindful as to what the signs are, because these are obviously God-given signs. When we say God-given, it's nature showing us the way. Yeah, because when it's bright, obviously we're more chirpy, we're
That's
more
right.
happy,
That's right. Yes.
we're
yes.
more energetic.
Yes.
When
yes.
it's dull and grey,
Yes.
our energy
Season.
diminish.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we need to understand that
That's
when
right.
these things happen, it's gonna cause a reaction.
Of course. Of course.
You know, so that's what we need more so to understand from the astrological
Yes.
perspective. And again, how blessed are we that we're melanated, so that when the sun shines bright, we can charge up.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? We
Yes.
have to have that we have to see ourselves
Yes.
as photo cells,
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
you know,
Yes.
who are energized by the
Yes.
vibration,
Yes.
the light, because everything is frequency.
Yes.
Everything is like a vibration,
That's right.
you know. So
That's
when
right.
our eyes are open, these are the
Yes.
things that we see, you know.
Definitely. And again, like just a good point you made with the seasons. I mean, we are in this period of winter, and we're entering winter now, and that's when things do slow down. So these things do. It's sluggish. Energy is naturally sluggish. People want to naturally stay home. It's cold out there in this northern hemisphere, so. All of that is why, again, certain things are being implemented as they are so swiftly in these times. In the guise of, well, it's the winter season and flu and things, are going to kick off again. So, again, it's just working that. So, again, there's different times, different periods of how we can still work and be creative. So, in these times, say some people don't want to be coming out to protests in the cold. There's things that people need to start looking that can be done from home. Collective strategies, writing letters to MPs, informing ourselves about different antidotes, because within nature there's an antidote for everything. So even with all these nanotechnology, there's something in nature. There's some herb, there's some food that we can use. There's some stones, there's some gems that we can take, we can wear, to ward off and neutralize and counterbalance whatever that is out there. So in these times, if some people don't want to or can't go out for whatever reason, they can spend that time looking, again, like I said, referencing and researching for ways and antidotes to help safeguard themselves. And if they wanted then to share it online, to come on, do podcasts, to do blogs, or just to write something, or to put something out on WhatsApp to enlighten people. Or if somebody knows certain things to do with laws and our rights and common law or different elements, to share that and come together and strategize behind the scenes doing that as well.
Yeah, because again, one of the things I've done recently, I've created a group called Enough is Enough, and what I discovered that I don't want no videos, just references. Yeah? Give the reference so people can go and do their research.
Yeah.
As opposed to just bombarding it, because a lot of people, they see something that excites their eye and they just want to fling it up.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to ask them, send it to my personal, where I can see if it marries up with other people's thinking. Then I can send it to this one, I can send it to that one. But on the Enough platform, let's keep it positive, where you can steer someone or redirect somebody to go and look it up for themselves if they so wish, if it's interested. You know, but it's very difficult. The time, everything is just convenience. Nobody really think now. They look for what is popular, because it's like they want to get a thumbs up. You know, or a hit. You know, it's really unfortunate, but we are where we are.
Where we are now. And
okay, right. I think it's only right that I allow you to have a little break so you can recharge. You can reflect on to anything that you reckon that is important for the community to know out there. It will also give them an opportunity, if they so wish, to phone, you know, and to raise the bar.
Yes, love that. Yes, love that.
So that we can get some more out of yourself. Yeah. So what I will do, I will try and see if I can find a track that can give them a little bit more spirit. Usually it's on this one. Yeah, and we just give them a preview, just to give you some reassurance, my family.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, it's by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Saying, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, it's by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Really don't worry about a thing. Worry about a thing, oh, every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry, singing, don't worry about a thing. I won't worry, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. I won't worry, singing, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing.
Yes, my family, don't worry about the thing. Yeah, don't worry about a thing. Everything is going to be all right. Particularly for us melanated people, because we are the ones who are the conductor. You know, we are the one that can draw on the energy source because we are the superconductors. Yeah, and our immune system also enable us, yeah, to fight the cold. You understand? Because we are the superconductor. We hold the balance. That's why nothing can be done without us. We are the original. You understand? All the solution comes from us. But we need to gain a better understanding because we've lost that intuition, that telepathy, because we've allowed illusions to come in its place. So we are a throwaway society, and it's affect us in all our social well-being. The Garden of Eden was given to us to maintain, to preserve, and we've allowed ourselves to be led astray, you know, to be outsnaked, you know. So we need to turn things back, and in order to do that, we need to be able to open our eyes, yeah, to see things the way they truly are. And because we're blessed today to have Mama Essie in the place, we need to draw on her knowledge for us to understand, because she simplifies it in order for us to understand it better. I think that's the best way I can put it. Yeah. So you've had your pens and your paper, and I hope now that she will continue to inform so that you can also go and reference, because we're so fortunate also that we have a thing called YouTube, the internet, Google. Yeah, everything is out there. So what was hidden from the wise is now being revealed to babes and sucklings. Yeah, I was with my granddaughter. She ain't even 2 yet, and she have telephone. She have telephone, and she have her own programs. You understand? So it's her experience of repeated actions that enable her to develop her knowledge. So I don't know what to say. I mean, like, as to what the future holds. You know what I'm saying? And again, everything now that come in the house is what via Wi-Fi. The lights, even the heating, washing machine. Yeah. So I just worry about the door, because when power cuts, or you get out. You understand? I mean, you have to go leave a window open to let the thief out. Anyway, my sister, please, you know, rejoin us, you know, and inform us further. And you was mentioning the moon. So what is it, the significance of the new moon? Or the moon is not new. This is
No, it's just well, the moon has 4 phases, and I mean the main ones that we take more note of in astrology, and because what's more visual to us all out there is the new. It's okay. The mic is a new moon when it's dark. That's the dark side of the moon, and the full moon when we see the moon in its brightness, and then we see the whole phases. Now, the whole moon is linked to this. It's linked also to the female cycle, to the tides of the waters, and just to our bodies and our psychology. So just kind of tapping into the moon cycles and just being aware of the moon cycles helps us and starts to get us into rhythm and that alignment as well. So just like women are aware of their natural cycles, that's again all governed by the moon. And also we all have like our own personal power days. And there's just, you know, certain days are more conducive cosmically in aligned for us, and certain days are not so great. So again, once we know we align ourselves with those dates, so it's coming like what we were saying before, but it's like knowing when to act, when to retreat. You know, so just like night and day, you know, the daytime is when we act. So it's that sun energy, that soul energy, and the nighttime is that lunar energy, or that, you know, when we retreat, when we go within, we recharge, we restock, and then come again. So based on also where we're born and how these are found out is if, you know, somebody goes to astrology, or if they can, or there's many sites and apps now that you can go and type in your birth details. One of the most key things that you do need for a birth chart is to know your time of birth.
My time of birth.
Yeah, and that's the thing with so many people do not know their times of birth, and that's something I wish that it would just be made mandatory for hospitals to log it down so that parents will know the time, because the time is when we come into this, or when us as babies, and a baby takes its first breath. It's that emergence, and that sets the template for our charts. So when somebody comes to an astrologer and we have a chart constructed, and then it tells them about themselves and transits and things to look for, how it's made accurate is by that timing. So it makes everything. So then we have things called houses in astrology, which shows you where and how things are going to happen. So when that is all then constructed, it's like your own map of how everything is going to play out, and there's no second guessing. Though we can have charts done without, just by our date of birth, but we miss that finite accuracy of honing in, and that's so sad.
It's sad, and that again points a finger to mother, because only mother are gonna know that.
I know, but mother's distracted because during the birth time, mother is in the most times mother is in pain. So it usually has to be the midwife or the father or the nursing assistant or somebody to kind of keep a track.
Okay, so there's me thinking mother is the only one that's going to know, but it's important father is there.
Yes, or who else? Yeah,
to keep
midwives.
The time.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
maybe
or whoever is there.
At that particular time.
But so yeah, so definitely. But it's logged with most midwives in hospitals do, even home births. They do look and check because they tell you what the time is.
Okay, well that's interesting. It's something I will take to my mum. I know my mum's got a vague idea. Yeah. She'll know the day. You understand, because obviously it's a time that resonates with her.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there is a process. It's a long process called the astrologers can do called rectification, which we can kind of hone in to possibly what a time is, but that's a very, very long process. But one of the ways sometimes I always say to people is they can ask in a dream before they go to sleep. They can ask if they do not know their time and they want to know their time. Obviously they can't if they haven't got the time and there's nobody around to verify it, to ask for it to be revealed in a dream. Or
I'm gonna ask you by what powers.
How do you mean by the Bible?
Ask in dream.
Yes, just ask, before you sleep that you want it to be revealed to you. Or if not in a dream, then for some sign or symbol to be revealed. Or some revelation to come to you.
Well, I love the fact that you say ask in a dream. Empower yourself.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
empower yourself, because a lot of us, this inner that is within.
Yes.
We've lost that power.
Yes.
Or we lost the belief.
Yes.
Probably I should best say. Yeah. That if we ask off, the answer will be given.
It's always within.
And it's a case of, obviously, if it's dreamt to you, it's revealing a dream 2 or 3 times.
That's right.
Then there is a significance.
That's right, because you're asking your inner spirit, your inner knower, what it is. Because if you think of it, something as significant as the time that you come into entry, the soul into this world, it's not something that's going to be lost on us. So we know. So again, it's just tapping in and asking the knower within to reveal it to yourself. And if people didn't want to do that, you could also, maybe some people, I don't know if they do pendulum, so you can get a pendulum or a dowse or a key, and you can, if you got certain times, then that's another way that people could, put a time frame and put it, so they could have times, and then they could run the pendulum over this time, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no.
Like the planets align.
But that's not the planets, but in terms of giving you the answer. So say if you say, so you got like 5 dates, 5 times, 5, 5:30, 5:10, and so you put the pendulum 5:10. Is it 5:10? Yes or no? The pendulum will give you the indication, yes or no. 5:20, yes or no. And then if it comes to 7 and you get the yes, that's most likely to be the case.
Yeah.
That could be.
That sounds so simple to do.
A lot of things to do with our spiritual connection is much more simpler than what we think. It's just having that faith and that trust, and sometimes when it happens, sometimes that confirmation will come.
Yeah, and again, it comes back to that I again, innit? Intuition, imagine.
Yes.
Inner self.
Yes, definitely. It's all about connecting back to that inner self, and again, because like I said, that's why it's so fundamental for us to know and to connect with our charts, because our charts tell us further, deeper insights about us. Like you'll have a read and be like, yeah, I understand that. That's why I do that. That's why, and it again going into like helping like our youth as well, because we all learn differently, and there's all different ways. Like some people are more visual learners, some people learn through more auditory, some people learn through actually doing something, actually getting stuck in. Yeah, some people can learn a multitude of ways at the same time. So again, our charts will show us and indicate the best ways to learn. So when a baby is born, once you are kind of skilled and honed with that knowledge, you can then best start to help and adapt that child in the best roads and the best routes, and how to learn and progress. So there's also, again, our keys are, our charts holds our inner keys and inner template for ourselves, and a lot of them, everything else that we're contending with. So one of the key things I would say to listeners is to start, getting familiar with just, again, the moon cycles and seeing how we feel at different phases of the moon cycle, the waxing phase, when we see from the new moon to when we start seeing the moon bit by bit getting brighter and brighter and brighter until it gets, so that's a waxing, and then we've reached the full moon, and then from the full moon you have the waning phase, which is when the moon starts to shrink and gets darker and darker and darker until we reach a new moon or the dark stage of the moon again. And each of those different periods, there are times when we should do certain things again. A new moon is a good time for setting intentions. It's like when farmers or at certain times would go and plant at certain times. Certain crops. So you plant your seed of intention, what you want for that coming month, and then you slowly, as the moon is waxing, you then work towards achieving that. And then come the full moon, you then see, you start to see kind of the fruits, the harvest of what you've put in. So sometimes it's not just as simple as just visualizing things. We have to visualize and to then help it manifest to action.
Yeah, and again, that takes us back to the earth insofar as a farming, because I know they usually are guided by what they would call
almanac. That's right. Yes.
And you grow up thinking these people, they work in some form of say science then.
It is.
But
natural science,
it's natural science.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, we grow up where we were we're put off practicing certain things, and we end up relying on fertilizer or artificial stuff, which puts everything out of sync.
That's right.
Yeah, and then it also destroys the very energy or the life that might be in the soil, who is dependent, also watching the light energy in order to come out, in order to do their stuff.
That's right.
We've allowed artificial fertilizers and them things, genetically modified things. Yeah, they've disrupted the earth balance to such an extent that it's like nature just don't want to know. The body again just don't want to know. So our immune system is broken down to the point that even a common flu has turned into corona.
Well, yes. But nature will always want to know, because nature understands and it has that divine intelligence that nature is us. That we are nature. Nature is us. It's the mother that will always keep giving and will always be forgiving to her children, no matter how wanton and strayaways the kids go, so long as they, come back to source. The source will always replenish them. So again, it's just nature's just there waiting for us. Mother Nature's going to be irrespective. It's for us to just realign back.
Again, I'm still probably going to revert to the fact and say nature is us, the melanated people.
Yes.
Nature is us, the melanated people.
Yes.
We need to recognize and to acknowledge that, and for our European counterpart to also acknowledge that, because I often say to myself, they say you don't know where you're going unless you know where you're coming from. We know where we're coming from, but they don't. And if they do,
many of us don't know though where we're coming from.
We've lost that insight.
Yes.
Because we allow the illusion to take us away. Yeah, and those that do know, because they are obviously, I would say, our European counterparts, they do know where they're coming from, and they know we are the source of where they're coming from. But because of the privilege that they've experienced, they're in denial, and because they're in denial, they then set about the illusion that then fools a lot of us. Yeah, which then again take us back to what Bob again says, mental slavery, because it's a state of mind.
Yes.
Yeah, and we need to burn that or release that vibration.
It's like the Sankofa birds in Ghana. Have you heard of the Sankofa?
Yeah,
It looks back on itself.
Yeah, I've got one of those in my house.
Yes.
He looks back because that is the source.
Yes,
You don't
that's
know where
right.
you're going unless you know where you're coming from.
That's right.
You know, when you
that's
say that you don't know where you're coming, or when you know that is an essential part, that's why we can comfortably say that we stand on the shoulder of our ancestors, because they've made that earth connection. It's just like the ground.
Yes.
They are the roots, they are the foundation.
Yes, that's right.
And we continue to reach to the sky.
That's right. And also, as you said, foundation, the piece I wrote earlier that I sent you today, when this eclipse that's going to happen, this lunar eclipse that's taking place GMT time, tomorrow morning, it'll be at 9:44, and Eastern Daylight Time which is
9:44 tomorrow.
9:44 a.m. and Eastern Time, which is the Western States of America and Canada, it's going to be at 4:44 a.m.
Tomorrow, Monday.
Yes, 30th
Okay,
of
peeps,
November.
I hope you take note of that. So you should be up. They should be up early. Well, 9:45 is a late.
9:44 in the morning here. That's more applicable for us in gym. But why? Well, you don't have to be up, but in terms of, it's just the energies, but it's just, but why I kind of highlighted just that the 444, the time, because 444 is a very significant spiritual number as well, and it ties back into the foundation. It ties back in. It's a number. So again, I'm kind of interested. Well, I'm very much into numerology, which is the science of numbers.
To express and make us understand.
So that's okay. So the number 444 is also, it's a number of protection, encouragement, and like I said, the foundation. And in biblical numerology, in a sense, it takes 444 days for the earth to shed itself and to cleanse itself of corruption. So if we even take tomorrow, starting from tomorrow, and we count 444 days, we're tying ourselves into a cycle, you see. So again, there's all these little things that kind of show us and lead us away. And in the Bible it talks about the temple, and we are the temple, and the earth is the temple. So tomorrow, again, to me, or how I personally see, I kind of see the astrology and my thing in a different, slightly way, but I see that as like a significant time. That is a message, and that's a message from spirit, from cosmic alignment, to say this is a time. Tomorrow is a preparation mark of cleansing and aligning ourselves back. And in the Bible, they talk about there was two, the two temples that are destroyed, and there's a third that's connected with the apocalypse and the rebuilding. And 444 is 4 3 times, and 4 numerology represents foundation, the balance. So again, I'm just, for the listeners, just to for us to just bear these things and just see how things are going to play out. And like you're saying, we are the conduit, we are that vessel, we are that medium between heaven and earth. Because as we stand here on this earth pavement, wherever it is, we are that medium and that gateway. So as you were saying, we are that superconductors. And a lot of the traditional priests and spiritual men and women, particularly in Africa or indigenous countries, we used to walk barefoot, because when we're walking, our souls, and when you check it as well, the soles of our feet, SOLES, is also connecting us to our souls, SOULS. So just walking, so when you see like the spiritual men, they wasn't just walking around because they're just walking around just like that without no shoes. It was to connect and to draw from that earth energy. and to be that vessel bringing things energy up and then bringing the energy down. So sometimes it's just good. It might sound a bit crazy out in this modern world, but there's sometimes if people have gardens, or if just even to style it out, like they're just gonna go out and pick up something from outside or get something, just go out and just barefoot,
Beautiful.
let your feet connect to earth.
Yeah, well, I've had that experience, and I've even had it in being in the woods, because one of the other things we've done is with the drummers, we've gone out in the woods. I think last week Wednesday was the last time we were
Wow.
out, just light a fire
Mhm.
and just play the drums. Obviously, in the
Wow.
winter time, it's not as acceptable to be walking barefoot, but during the summer period,
Yeah.
we do
Yeah,
take our shoes
beautiful.
off.
Yes. Do you feel the energy? Do you feel?
Oh yeah. But
you
again,
do.
I'm
Yes,
accustomed
it
to
is.
walking
Yes,
barefoot.
yes,
It's one of the greatest pleasure when we go back to the West Indies.
yes, yes,
Even though whenever you go into the riverside, like to hold a fresh or anything like that, you have to keep an eye, because your foot bottom is not as hardened,
Mhm.
as it was used to. Because I remember as a youngster walking barefoot, and thorns used to prick you, and you leave it in there for a few days, you probably
Yes,
tiptoe a little
yes.
bit and things like that. But yeah, your nature, it makes you more aware as to your surrounding.
Yes, yes, it does.
You something
Yeah.
so it teaches, but when you've got trainers on and boots on, it gives you that false sense of security.
Yeah, it does. You're right. You're right.
You see what I'm saying? So you lose
Yeah.
you lose the connection.
But it's really good that you said just being out in nature, going out into the woods, just being anywhere, being by, lakes, little rivers, anywhere where we just kind of get out of the tenement yard of the city. Energy, just being at nature. Like a group of friends went to Glastonbury on August 8th. It was amazing.
What,
And
this August?
yeah, this August gone. It was just amazing.
Okay.
And just being
So
being out.
why you should have gotten in touch with Galactic Clyde? Because
Yeah,
we
it
were
was
anxious.
really-
We were anxious to go back.
Because we missed that first one. Was it in
I can't remember. It's
the
right about the
solstice,
time
July,
when it was one of the
yeah.
solstices that we
it
went.
was it was a friend to kind of it was a sister.
Yeah,
friend.
that was
So
awesome. I mean,
I
they said
saw
it's the
some of the
best
videos, yeah.
experience that
yeah
they've had. But yeah, we videoed, we did so much
Yeah,
things,
did.
and went into the town.
It's
And
beautiful there.
yeah, it was crazy. But again, it's one that I said with Galactic is very informative.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I've
he is.
taken him in confidence in the way that he has led, and the way he sets about the ritual, because we do the libation, we connect with the spirituality, so I'm coming to realize that more so now, being honest, I've not even been to church. Well, the excuse is obviously we're in lockdown, but I've not been in a church, a physical church, in a long time, but I've been in the woods.
Yes, and that is a church. Yes, that is a church.
I've been
Yeah.
doing libation.
Yeah.
I've been reconnecting with my
Yes,
true nature.
That's it. That's what
You
it's
know, and
about.
another thing which I did was when I went 2019, I was in Jamaica, and I made a discovery just doing libation with an ancient guango tree.
Wow.
And from then my eyes is
Open,
just
yes, yeah,
open up, and
yes,
I'm trying to
yeah.
understand, and that's why I get so excited when I'm referred to yourself, that I know we have to make the connection. Obviously, again, you've been inside the studio. This studio is like your studio now, so we need to get over whatever. You understand?
Yes, I
Because
hear.
we need to disseminate information
Yeah.
to the broader community so that they get to know themselves.
Yes, I hear you. Papa.
You see what I'm saying? That's what we really need to do, because we have to be the educators, for the generations to come. We have to
hear you.
bless them,
I hear you,
but
definitely.
in a
yes,
more
yes.
meaningful way.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
and then we can't afford to edge God out,
no,
as
no,
our
no,
good brother
Professor.
Vasco would say.
Yes.
Ego needs to be set aside,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, and again, as brother Dougie would say, you know, unity, which we
Yes,
know is a
yeah.
collective,
It's true. It's
you know,
power.
so each one must teach
Teach
one,
absolutely, definitely.
you know, so we need to
Definitely.
come with pen and paper, because what we do need, like, from yourselves who have gone through the experience, is to simplify it for us in layman's term. Yeah.
I hope I've simplified it today.
Yeah, so we have
as
a
much as I
no,
can.
so we have a
Try.
better
Yes,
understanding.
of course.
Yeah, of where we are and what is happening out there, because it's pointless you come in and you're saying this and you're saying that, and it becomes a headache. It becomes a headache.
It's all, everything is practical, and the magic is all around, and God, the goddess, the deities, they're all around, and it's just that matter of, and I think prayer, and prayer just doesn't have to be a Christian thing or a religious thing, just prayer, and just even as we receive and we drink water, to pray over and to be thankful, over our water, to pray over our food, to pray when we rise, to pray over our families, our loved ones, because it's putting out a positive, good intention and vibration,
Give it grace.
and showing grace and gratitude.
Yeah.
And that is such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And we kind of forget and put those kind of things
we've,
aside.
we've lost it. A lot of things which was ingrained tradition have been lost to convenience. And we're in so much of an hurry
Yes.
in order to do certain things, and we wonder we ain't got no time for nobody.
No.
you know.
But we can implement that. It doesn't take more than even 2-3 minutes, even a minute, just to say
Yeah,
little quick ways down
I know
lanes.
that. I know that.
Yeah,
It's just the same,
yeah.
like we constantly saying that, we're living in Babylon and such and such and such. And tomorrow, if we, as melanated people, was just to go out and do like what we used to do customary, I said morning, afternoon,
Yes,
evening,
yeah.
you know how much problem that would
Yeah.
solve?
That's true. Just even acknowledging another fellow human being is so important, and it's so sad that doesn't
That's
happen.
gone out the window.
It has. It's so sad.
Yeah, and
You know.
it's the same. I mean, I can go back home because, again, I've shared this so many times. When I was growing up in the West Indies as a child, yeah,
Yeah.
every yard you go by, you said morning
Yes,
or the
yeah.
afternoon, yeah. Sometimes there ain't even nobody home, yeah, but you're still shouting.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, I understand the
Yeah.
reason why we shout, because sometimes when we shout and nobody's there, especially in mango season, it means we can go up there and pick the mango.
Make sure the case
But
is clear,
sometimes
yeah.
they don't answer just to catch us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just the way the game's played out.
Yes,
But as
yes.
long, like my grandmother used to tell me, manners will take you anywhere.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you
very
see what I'm
true,
saying? So
very
it's
true.
about having manners. That's what
Yeah.
that is. Manners is what makes you courteous to say morning, afternoon, evening, hello, how are you? You understand?
That's
From
very
you've
true.
got that connection, it means that if somebody see you stumble and fall, they're not just going to leave you there.
That's
idly
right,
by,
that's right.
Right? We live in a society now whereby I see you today, I say howdy, you ignore me. That is like a diss within our culture. You understand? So now you diss me. Tomorrow I see you down in the gutter. Why should I help you?
Of course, it's true.
You
True.
see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like when you say you hail up somebody now and they don't hail you back, it's like it's a diss.
That's
So you
true.
feel offended.
Yeah,
You know?
naturally.
And where do you stop?
Yes,
So we
true.
need to get over certain simple things.
Yes.
The same way we're suffering because we can't trust each other. But at the same time, our greatest achievement was when we used to throw partners. Collectively,
That's right.
pooling our resources together.
Yes.
But we now complicate it, by not having that trust. So we are our own. We cause our own downfall.
That's true. And it's sad because all this social distancing is creating even more of that wedge.
Yeah.
And they knew that, it was
They know
already
what they
there, so we have to get past that.
Yeah, because that's
Again.
where the fear is instigated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not to say the deaths weren't taking place. The deaths were taking place, but now you can't mourn and grieve for your own people.
That's right.
And that is really disturbing.
That's right.
When somebody is sick and they're telling you need to consider your own
Yes,
well-being
yes.
before you consider
Yes,
those who admit
yes,
and those who
yes.
you love. So again, listeners out there, we need to put aside, I know I've said it before, who is going to die is going to die. There's nothing corny about that. Who for dead will dead. particularly in this time, because we're dealing with an invisible force that they say is out there, yeah, and we don't know what it is, but we obviously we can't be complacent, but at the same time we can't be sacrificing our loved one, you know, so that they're dying and we can't even bury them in a meaningful way.
That's true.
You know,
That's very sad.
it's really sad.
It is.
You know, really sad. You know. Anyway, let me thank you because we're coming to the last 5 minutes. So
Thank you.
I need to say to you, how do we stay in touch? How do the listeners get use of your knowledge, your skills, your experience, your blessings? You know, are you on a platform out there that you care to share? Or do you rather have a more private and then you embark whenever you so choose?
Right now it's privately in private environment, but I am working on a website soon. So hopefully when that is all
Set up.
ready and put, well, definitely yes.
Okay.
Let you know. But I suppose for any listeners, anybody wanted to connect with me, maybe via you, my number. I don't want to give my
No,
number out,
via
yeah.
Bless. We
Bless
we
or
need
Bless,
to
yes,
we need to establish a network.
yes, yes.
Yeah, because one of the other thing, like you see on my T-shirt, what we offer, you know, and for whatever reason this thing came about, is real active structured supportive
Ah, I like
solutions.
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
So that's the kind of platform. That's the whole concept of RAS.
Mhm.
Yeah. But because it being a Sunday, yeah,
Yeah.
people see it as being a derogatory.
Oh,
They see it as being a derogatory term.
really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but unbeknown to them, because
Mhm.
obviously I'm in the church, and I took it to my pastor,
Yes.
and my pastor swore he'll turn the R into a P and make it positive. Yeah. So I tell him, because I work primarily around
Yeah.
youths, I said, well, you have to keep it real.
Mhm.
Yeah. My God is real. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because my God is nature.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my God is real, and you have to keep it real for the youth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So on that, I went into the Bible.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I took out wrath.
Ah.
WRATH.
Ah.
And with that now, I said, for those of you who think it's
Yes.
derogatory,
Yes.
speak is spooky, and think that you're holier than thou,
Yes.
let me give you this wrath, the wrath of God. So then
yes.
what that represents is, I say then, God is not best pleased with mankind.
Mhm.
Yeah, He's concerned for our well-being,
Yes.
about our relationship,
Mhm.
our attitude,
Mhm.
our truth, where we place our trust,
Yes.
and our hopes and aspirations.
That's right. That's
You understand?
right.
So I still end up with two Ras.
Yeah.
You see me?
Yes.
So that's what I'm working with, and obviously the Ra or this Taras is more powerful because it represents when we are vexed,
Mhm.
we're fed up
Yes.
at the end of our tether,
Mm.
and we also say enough is enough.
Mhm.
So political correction now is to say enough is enough,
Yes.
which is our
yes.
show.
Right.
Everybody's at the end of their tether.
Yes.
Everybody now is saying enough is
Yeah,
enough.
enough is enough.
You
Yes,
understand?
definitely.
But I've been saying it for a longer period
yes,
of time in
yes.
a more meaningful way.
Yes. Yes.
You see what
I
I'm
hear
saying?
that,
So
brother.
that's where we're at. So for whatever reason, I've got that bit of an insight.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what I
okay.
run with.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
and
so-
yeah, I'm blessed that I'm obviously in the studio.
Yes.
I'm blessed to have you there. I'm blessed
Thank
that Brother
you.
Dougie had brought me in the studio. I'm
Yeah.
blessed I share the studio with Lady Leo.
Oh yes.
You
yes.
see what I'm saying? So I'm happy to continue to facilitate as best as possible
Fantastic.
and to continue to afford a platform for others
Yes.
so that you can
Yeah.
sit there comfortably
Oh.
and don't allow me to talk, and you can talk and
It's
encourage
perfect.
people to take their notepad. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think what has happened over a period of time, I tend to say things and they kind of manifest themselves. So
Oh,
people don't
wow.
like when we talk.
Yeah.
They don't like when we talk. They think I'm going to cuss them out because I told you,
No.
you know, just like
Yeah.
somebody's been formed. I keep telling people, I created a site and I tell people no videos, and twice my sister has posted. Yeah, I started with 200 deliberately, and I've got exactly 100 leave.
Wow.
100 is left.
Wow.
And a sister has posted, yeah, telling me
you need to delete this group because no one is listening to you.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought about them that too. Them just can't hear. Yeah, and I was saying that, but I know this group affords them a platform in this time.
Mm.
And I'm going to reintroduce the numbers because I've got so many people I can put in there.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're being bombarded by
Yes.
people either posting, they withdraw themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's never been a greater need
Mm.
for this group than there is now.
Wow. Wow. Everything is everything in its time. Yeah.
You see, there's never been a
Yeah.
greater need. It's just that obviously people, when they put the videos, it saps their
Right.
data.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
If they
yes.
put the references,
Mm-hmm.
it means the information that I be privy to, because obviously the people that are coming to the chair, they have to have something to offer to the community that
Right.
is going to be benefit to the community holistically.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. This group is not about lavish. I myself, I don't even put no videos up there. Yeah, there's some that's commented that to say I want to be a dictator because I only want the group for myself.
No.
And it's,
No,
me,
it's okay.
and it's me set up the group, you know. Some people, they can come up with some things, but they need to really and truly understand this is for us, the collective, because we are in serious times right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is the reason why enough is there. The reason why I'm blessed to be on this show,
Yes.
and
of
it's
course.
for them to tune in, to listen, yeah, to be educated, and to take the advice and information so that the next generation will have something,
That's
and
right.
they can be part and
Parts
parcel
and
of it.
parcel. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
reliable source of information that can be trusted.
That's right.
Yeah, so
That's
we don't
right.
want no dibby things on it. Yeah. Okay, my listeners, I thank you very much. Our time is now up. Right, my sister was
Thank
saying that
you.
if there is any concerns, any issues, that she'd be happy for you to direct it through the studio, which is Bless, which again you can come through myself. There's other DJs on this platform. I'm guilty, aside from Ragga D. When Lady Leo was here, we set about was to establish a group. Now that Lady Leo is no longer with us, somebody will have to take the responsibility to make sure that group is established. So I'm gonna probably propose that between myself and Ragga D, that we look to work with the other radio presenters, work with the other radio presenters so that we can establish a network that our good sister Lady Leo had started. Yeah, and that way we can get the information and to put it out there. Yeah. So my listeners, manners and respect. Again, insofar as the T-shirts, as you know, I've got these T-shirts that I don't want to put out willy-nilly. I've been holding on to them deliberately. It's a form of membership. The sister had travelled to Nigeria. She's now back. She's in Unit 17 in Edmonton Green. Yeah, Edmonton Green shopping centre. If you do want to make a statement, yeah, insofar as where we are, if we're fed up at the end of your tether, I would suggest that you go to the shopping centre, or alternatively, I had set up a website and Instagram and all of that, but it's not to say I'm too busy, I just need to dedicate my time. Yeah, but as I say, I'm not selling them willy-nilly. So if you do want, then you can get in touch with myself via the Edmonton Green, or you can do it via, my number 07530101299. Okay, and I can post them out to yourself, and that will afford you a membership, and then we will also get it though that membership will represent your contact details. so you can join our website also. Yeah, because again, as I've said, we're in serious times and we need to connect more in a more meaningful way. Yeah. So with all that being said, I'd like to wish you all a fantastic weekend. Do remember tomorrow we're having a
Lunar full moon eclipse.
full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse. Yeah, after 9 o'clock. So at that particular time they'll be more energized.
Well, yeah, just feel the energy, whatever, however
Feel
they
the
feel and
energy.
connect with
Irrespectful,
yeah.
as melanated people, family, you'll be charged up and your immune system will kick in to fight this coronavirus. Yeah? So my leaving comment is make sure you don't take no injection. Yeah? And where you have the strength to protest, look to protest. We did not comment so much so on the deportees, on the Windrush generation, who this system is deporting through this hostile environment. I do have concern because my concern is that they may well be contaminated and sent down to the island, to the West Indies, so this may well be a trial. When they go down, then you then suddenly hear that you have how much? So you have at least 500 people dead or something, because Jamaica, you're still in the 230 odd. That's the number that's died in Jamaica. That's no significant amount of people dead for them to justify the amount of vaccination that they want to impose upon us. Yeah, Jamaica, we are a rebellious nation. Yeah, and our prime minister is like him take us and turn us in a something that is not pleasing to our ancestors, then say. Yeah, and even today or yesterday I was hearing that Muta Baruka was saying that the government give a whole heap of money to them friends. You understand where that money come from when him not have the money for fix road? Yeah, give it to his friends them. So Bill Gates has probably got a hand in it, so we have to watch that situation. They're very close. Yeah, watch that situation. They're very close, family. Don't let them take away our country, even though the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Yeah, don't let that happen, family. Yeah, so those of us who have lost loved ones and those of us who, are going through trials and tribulation, be strengthened, my family. Yeah, the time is at hand. Yeah, prophecy have to be fulfilled, and what is to be will be. But be comforted in that we are going through, particularly we've got the 21st of December when everything will come into alignment. Yeah, and in so doing we will continue to get those who are in the know to come and give their understanding so we can better understand the situation and the vibrations. Yeah, more recent I've not really said much on the drumming, but again my brothers from Birmingham, they are wanting of some drums. They're giving an invitation for us to come up and also to drum up in the Birmingham area. Yeah, so I met a couple of sisters down at Hyde Park on Saturday. They didn't have drums, but nonetheless I was there. I represent. Yeah, so love, peace, harmony, joy, strength. Yeah, Joy Gardner family, more strength. Everybody, Leah, more strength coming for Tuesday. Yeah, Shefton, manners and respect, my brother. I know that you lost your loved one, and just be strengthened, So more joy, more strength. Yeah. So till next week, I'm out of here.
Of Jah, and know that the Lord God Jah the Almighty shall wound the head of his enemies. Jah, Rastafari, I listen last to the first. Oh, let God arise, let his enemies be scattered.
Give
Let
thanks
them
to you, my
also that hate him
sister.
to flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. Well, let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto God. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth on the heavens by his name. Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie the first. Our Father, strength and Redeemer, who lives and rules and reigns over all living things. A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. God set up the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in dry land. O God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Father, strength and Redeemer, when thou wentest forth before thy people, when thou did march through the wilderness, Selah, the earth shook, the heavens also dropped at the presence of God. But even Sinai itself was moved at the presence of God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie first, the God of Israel. Though, O God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, did send a plentiful rain, whereby thou did confirm thine inheritance when it was weary. Thy congregation hath dwelt therein. Though, O God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, has prepared of thy goodness for the poor. The Lord God, Jah the Almighty, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. Kings of armies did flee apace, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. Though ye have lain among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When the Almighty God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Salmon. The hill of God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, is as the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie the first, desireth to dwell in. Yea, the Lord God, Jah the Almighty, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, will dwell in it forever. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord God, Jah the Almighty, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for man, yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord God, Jah the Almighty, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, might dwell among them. Blessed be the Almighty God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, who daily leadeth us with benefits, even the God of our salvation, Selah. He that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto God, Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, the Lord belongeth the issues from death. But the Lord God, Jah the Almighty, Haile Selassie, our Father, strength and Redeemer, shall wound the head of his enemies, and hear his scalp of such an one as goeth on still in his trespasses.